morning, and welcome to our Bitcoin Beyond Basics informational session. What a privilege it is to be here with you today. We thank the organizers, Laura and her team, for hosting this session, and know that if you're like me, you will walk away having even more questions and being a lifelong crypto learner. My name is Trish Shermot, and I'm going to present an overview and history of Bitcoin and digital assets. I'll put some facts and figures in on why we all need to pay attention. My compatriots here are the seasoned crypto veterans and prepared to answer all the hard questions. As the Governmental Affairs Director for Visions Federal Credit Union, I reached out to our team in 2021, and NCUA had submitted a request for information on digital assets and related technologies. Of course, our team had already been modifying the outflow of deposits and attacking a plan, and they agreed we needed to submit the RFI. Since then, I've personally done a deep dive into crypto, even taking on an MIT class to better be able to discuss with regulators and thought leaders as to the global changes in the financial services world and our industry. So thanks for taking this journey with me today into the new realm of financial services. Before we do a deep dive into cryptocurrency, it's important that we understand the concept of what money is and how it's derived. Money is a social and economic construct and the invention of humankind. The underlying roles, store of value, medium of exchange, and unit of account, remain the same, but innovation has introduced many forms of private and public money over time. These range from cattle, salt, shells, stones, copper, bronze, silver, and gold, to even paper, banknotes, and central banked fiat currency, to account-based digital money. There are 6 characteristics to consider when gauging the quality of different forms of money. Some forms of money may lack certain characteristics, rendering them susceptible to losing value over time. An ideal form of money would have a feature of a high degree of all 6 of the following characteristics. So let's peek under the hood at the characteristics of money. Durability. Money needs to be durable, not succumbing easily to wear and tear that occurs as it is exchanged frequently in the marketplace. Metallic coins are an example of money that is highly durable. Portability. Portability of money refers to the ease with which it can be transported. Copper, although more abundant in supply and lower in value than silver or gold, is less portable for larger value transactions. Gold bars, although high in value, is less portable than later innovations of paper money. Think about the cows too. How would you port those around? Divisibility. Divisibility refers to how easy it is to subdivide money into smaller units. Many commodities were used as a form of money or store of value. Remember, livestock, precious stones, they really aren't easily divisible. Some precious metals, although divisible, are not always suitable for low-value transactions. Uniformity or fungibility, this property of money, refers to the need that each unit needs to be standardized or uniform so that it is interchangeable with other units of the same currency. Finality. This says that once money has passed hands, the transaction is final. Some paintings, although high in value, they have low uniformity or fungibility because sometimes they've been stolen. Acceptability. Traders want to be paid with money that they can easily use elsewhere. The United States dollar, due to its economic strength, is accepted in many countries outside the United States. And scarcity and stability. If a type of money is easy to reproduce, it would lead the market forces to increasing the production of money, thereby increasing its supply and diluting its value. Gold was a currency used for centuries, mainly due to its scarcity. It is costly to mine, and there's only a limited amount of gold mined each year. So what is cryptocurrency? Cryptocurrency is a form of decentralized digital money that's based on a blockchain, designed to work as a medium of exchange through a computer network that is not reliant on any central authority such as a government or bank to uphold and maintain it. Many companies have issued their own currencies, often called tokens, and these can be traded specifically for a good or service within that company that it provides. Think of them as you would an arcade token or a casino chip. You have to exchange real fiat currency for the cryptocurrency to access the good or service. Cryptocurrencies work using a technology called blockchain in a distributed ledger. Anyone can join, and there's a high level of trust. Blockchain is a decentralized technology spread across many computers that manages and records transactions. Part of the appeal of this technology is its security. Bitcoin is the most popular cryptocurrency, and it has a high volatility, with the price reaching $65,000 in April, losing half its value by May, and now it's currently around $21,000. So how does it work? Essentially, a blockchain is a database that stores information differently from the way a typical database does. It collects information sets or blocks, and when the blocks are filled, they're connected or chained to the previous blocks. And these can't be changed. They're immutable. The transaction and verification process uses mathematical algorithms, which makes them more secure. All this information is duplicated and stored electronically across a number of computers. The system makes it nearly impossible to change or hack. So when you purchase crypto, your coin ownership records are stored electronically in a wallet. There's no intermediary, no withdrawal or cancellation. It's a final transaction on a peer-to-peer network. We can now move anytime, anywhere, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. This short video will give you a visual snapshot of how blockchain and a distributed ledger technology work.
Let me tell you a short story about a little fellow called Jacob. Since he could remember, Jacob always wanted to get a blue cat, but his parents were always finding ways to not get it for him. So, one Christmas, he figured out a way to finally get his dream pet. He would send his wish to Santa. Oh, how excited he was when he wrote the letter! But Jacob was too young to take the letter to the post office by himself, so the next morning he had to ask his dad to do it for him. You could say that his dad was the middleman between Jacob and Santa. He never imagined that on his way to the post office, his dad would open the letter, read it, and replace the blue cat on the list with a brand new pair of socks. The letter was posted to the North Pole, to Santa and the elves. When they received it, they started working right away, making Jacob's gift. So, that year, Jacob received an adorable pair of socks. But next Christmas, Jacob decided to use the blockchain. Jacob wrote exactly the same letter, but instead of giving it to his mum or dad to deliver, he directly uploaded it to the North Pole blockchain. The North Pole blockchain is made up of a lot of computers connected to one another through the internet that all store a copy of everyone's Christmas list. The network is being monitored at the same time by all the elves, Santa himself, and even people like Jacob's parents. Every time a new letter is received, it is saved onto every individual computer, so everyone has the exact same copy. As the blockchain is an open network, everyone can see all the letters, even though it's impossible to know to whom each one belongs to. But when Jacob's parents saw that there was a letter asking for a blue cat, it wasn't hard for them to know that it was from Jacob. So, once again, they changed it, this time for a cookbook. But as every other node had a copy of Jacob's real letter, the change was spotted, and the computer trying to make the change was cut off from the network, meaning Jacob's real letter remained unchanged. So, guess what Jacob received that year for Christmas?
So the biggest thing about a blockchain is that everything has to agree. All these databases have to agree. And when they change, it adds to the blockchain and it just verifies the information. Very oversimplified process. I think if the presentations get sent out electronically, thank you for standing, Where a regular database is just stored in one silo, this database is stored in many. So I do like the video because it's for kids and it's oversimplified, and it's a visual interpretation. Let's move on to Satoshi. So let's talk about payment solutions a little bit. Retail stores and e-commerce businesses have been seeking payment solutions on the internet. By 1996, developments occurred for cryptographic protocols, and that enabled secure communications over the internet and gave birth to a lot of the payment rails that we have today. There were dozens of attempts for currencies that did not do well. We're going to just talk about two of them. So David Chaum, who was a computer scientist from UC Berkeley, he published a scientific paper describing a digital money that incorporated blind data signatures to introduce anonymity to payments. Chaum went on to create DigiCash. Probably some of you have heard that, in 1989, but was unable to get banks and payment providers to adopt it. In 1996, Douglas Johnson, an oncologist, and Barry Downey, a lawyer, had an idea to put portions of gold into a safe deposit box. And they created a website where people could buy portions of these gold coins, which they referred to as e-gold. Probably some of you have heard of e-gold. It was used by over 1 million people globally, so it was the first one to really be adopted. The currency became popular, but guess what happened? Something we all know, cybersecurity, right? So a network was compromised. Many of the customers lost their investment. The gentlemen they classified them as money transmitters, although they previously told them that they didn't need a money transfer license. Legal complications ensued, and Jackson had to admit to money laundering. And so there went, the freezing of e-gold's assets, and investors ran away. Fast forward to 2008. After the recession, Satoshi Nakamoto released a white paper detailing a peer-to-peer digital currency for the internet. Bitcoin was born, and the creator behind it remains anonymous to this day. Satoshi Nakamoto was either a singular person or a group of people. I often say he, so please excuse that, but it could be, we have no idea who Satoshi is. After the currency began to be used in 2009, when the implementation was released as open source software. Bitcoins were created as rewards for a process called mining. Many of us know what that mining, have heard that name. And they're exchanged for other currencies, products, or services. There's only 21 million Bitcoins that have been created. And how many people know, Visions people can't answer this, how many have already been mined? Anybody have an idea? 19 million. So 21 million, 19 have already been mined. That only leaves 2 million Bitcoin to be mined in the future, so scarcity, right? Experts predict that by 2140, all the Bitcoin will be mined. So let's do a little fun facts and history. The internet, let's go back to 1994. The first transaction on the internet for food was seen in a movie. Does anybody know what that food was? Guess. Pizza. Who said pizza? No, pizza. Very good. We have a book for you. If you haven't gone down the rabbit hole, you will on this one. So, nope, right there. Legend has it that, or you can read it on Fast Company or in the MIT class. One of the first ever transactions that occurred on the internet was the sale of pizza in 1994 at pizza.net. And the operator of Pizza Hut owned pizza.net, and somebody put out an order, right, for pizza. And in the movie The Net, Sandra Bullock is the character. And although the pizza was delivered, money still had to exchange hands, but it was kind of a trend-setting. People were like, that's never going to happen, right? Fast forward, we do everything on the internet. One more fun fact, fun dinner conversation fact, and again, Visions folks, you cannot answer this question. It has to do again with food. Anybody can tell me in relation to Bitcoin what May 22nd is? Bitcoin Pizza Day. Back in Laszlo Heinrich, he was a Bitcoin enthusiast. He said he would spend 10,000 Bitcoin if somebody could get him 2 pizzas. And so May 22nd, and that happened, 10,000 Bitcoin. Could you imagine, right? They were worth about $40 a piece then, what that would be worth now. A little, a little less than what they were at the high of 65,000, but wouldn't that be fun to say that you got 10,000 Bitcoin for pizza? So now May 22nd is known throughout the world as Bitcoin Pizza Day. Okay, next slide. Now we can go to the next slide. So what kind of crypto are there? As you'll see in a minute, there's thousands of coins. Bitcoin and Ethereum take the lion's share of the market. Others include Algo, Bitcoin Cash, Zello, Dash, and they operate on the Bitcoin and Ethereum blockchains. Digital dollars or stablecoins are backed by fiat currency, either US dollars or treasury, and they're typically volatility-free. An NFT is a non-fungible token. It's a financial security consisting of stored data on the blockchain. Typically, it's art, music, anything that can be digital. NFT. We've heard a lot of those lately. This one's making a lot of noise lately, CBDC, central bank digital currency. It's an alternative form of fiat currency, and it's backed by, it's digital, it's backed by the country that issues it. It's regulated by the state's monetary or central bank authority, and it's backed by the full faith of that government. So some of the Bahamas sand dollar, you've heard of that, and Africa has also issued in Nigeria one of the first CBDCs, and there are others. If you go to the next slide, please. So as you can see, there's over 14,000 digital currencies. Here's just a snapshot. So if you go out on Coinbase, you can see the top coins in the market. And so let's say that you're interested in a coin, right? So I'm going to go down to number 6, right? I'm interested in Cardano, and you don't have to do this, but if I'm interested in Cardano, I want to find out more about that coin. If you click on that coin, once you scroll down, there'll be a white paper. And I invite you to any coin that you're interested, read those white papers. It'll be more information than you ever want to know. And you'll start to go down this rabbit hole of education. And the more, I know for me, the more I started to learn, the more I found I needed to learn because I didn't understand what all of these different coins were. And I'll share with you an exercise we had to do in a minute. Many times coins are brought to market through what's called an initial coin offering or an ICO. So you'll see those as well. And not all coins, some coins do fail. So you will see that in the news as well. If we go on to Bitcoin, it works on cryptography. So it works on a method of disguising and reveal information to ensure the security of the user information and transactions are done safely on the Bitcoin blockchain. You have to keep the little exercise we did in mind, right? With all the computers, you all had the same information. That's how it is when you purchase Bitcoin on the blockchain. All that information, your records are the same on your computer node as that node in the back. So keep that blockchain in mind. That's where all the information is stored. Anybody can buy, sell, or use crypto to buy services or goods, and you can purchase crypto through the dedicated exchanges, and they typically charge a fee, right? Coinbase, Binance, Beyonce probably has a lot of crypto, so they usually charge a fee based on how much your transaction, how much crypto you're buying. Bitcoin was the first cryptocurrency on the decentralized network. Again, it doesn't have a central bank. There's nobody, single administrator. And it can be sent from user to user, so very easily. There's no intermediary. So I can send it to Christina. There's no bank intermediary. There's no central authority. It's peer-to-peer. Transactions are verified by the network nodes through cryptography, the algorithms, and they're on the public ledger, on the public blockchain. So real quickly, the next one. So storing value digitally requires that it must be impossible to copy. We talked about that. Ownership and value must be easy to verify, and transfers must be reliable and consistently available. Let's talk about wallets for a minute, because it looks like we're a little bit behind. So the current wallet today, right, your mobile wallet, everybody has a phone, it's got your credit cards in it, it's got your health information, concert tickets, probably Apple Pay, Google Pay, Samsung Pay, some form of that. Digital wallets are a little bit different because they use cryptographic keys, which allows users to manage different kinds of cryptocurrencies. For example, Bitcoin and Ethereum, the transactions are secure, and you purchase a wallet from an exchange, and it sits on that exchange versus, right inside your phone. They're transparent, unlike mobile wallets, which, everything you have in one place. You can go back to a digital wallet and find out really who the owner is through the keys. It's a process. But the types of wallets, if you want to go to the next one, there's really wallets fall into two categories, hot wallets and cold wallets. Hot wallets are connected to the internet, and they're considered more easily hacked than a cold wallet, which is removed from the internet. For those of you who may sell Bitcoin or Ethereum through a third party in a credit union, they hold the keys, they hold the wallet. So it's an easier access through a third party. Some of the hot wallets include Binance and Coinbase are the exchanges, and Exodus and Mycelium are the wallets. And also there's paper wallets, Trezor and Ledger. So there's a lot of different wallets out there. I recommend that you do your research. You can never do enough research when you're dealing with crypto. So the why. Next slide. Why do we need to pay attention to this? Because blockchain is a peer-to-peer network. It's trusted, and it circumvents any kind of intermediary. And the transactions are public. It's very important as the adoption continues that we really monitor this. And cryptocurrency is a digital form of money, and it's a very secure medium of exchange. My compatriots on the panel will give you more stories and kind of open your eyes as to why it's important to pay attention to this. The transactions are irreversible, and they're controlled by the people, by the users. Again, no central authority. If you go to the next slide, you can see on this slide where the adoption of the internet, if you go down to 2014 is the green line, and then the projected line going forward matches, and that's all the internet, it matches the crypto line, so the crypto adoption. So you can see that they both have the same trajectory, and they're both here to stay. Going from Web 1 to Web 2, which we have today, to Web 3, which is the digital exchange of information. It's making things more accessible, and the adoption is really quick. Who uses crypto? Next one. So you can see on this slide and in your book, 16% of U.S. adults are using crypto, mostly men, and you can see men 18 to 29 years old. And this is from a Pew Research study, so you can probably pull the whole study up if you'd like. The growth of digital currencies, next slide. You can see, now this is a little dated, but you can see from 2016 where they've gone to almost at the end of 2021, $2.3 trillion. So, it looks a little bit different today, but it is definitely something to pay attention to. Crypto activity. So, follow the money, right? Anybody name the movie? Where does that come from? Follow the money. Oh, come on. Go ahead. Show me the money. All the messages, yes. Henry, I have something for you. All the President's Men. I think what the big thing is for us as credit unions, following the money is so important. And some of my compatriots will tell you a little bit more about that. Read, research, repeat. The more I found, the more that I dive into crypto and blockchain and articles, the more information I find, the more I want to know. And so I invite you to do the same. As a credit union, we responded to both NCUA and the CFPB, the request for information. Be a voice for your members. Make sure that you are a voice for our industry. and doing the same. It's really easy to go down the rabbit hole, though, once you start looking at this information, reading those papers, and I'll share with you a little something that I had to do at the end for that MIT course. So ownership, are you in this picture? Are you going to be in this picture? Who are the owners of crypto? There's tons of information. It's more and more adoption is being gained by Black financial enthusiasts. 44% of crypto traders are investors of color, compared to only 35% that they're investors in stocks. So was an interesting fact. So what does the future hold for digital? I'll go through this rather quickly. One of the things that's a challenge is the interoperability of the blockchain system and the legacy systems, right? So how they talk to each other. And as we move forward, this will continue to develop and to increase. And let me tell you why. So speed of existing payments, based on the research, Visa can handle up to 24,000 transactions per second. Handle up to 24 transactions per second. That's a big number. MasterCard claims 5,000. Blockchain, 7. So we have a ways to go. The blockchain network cannot handle as many transactions as MasterCard and Visa, but that technology will develop and move forward, just as we saw the internet and the crypto adoption moving forward. Probabilistic finality, again, that the transaction is final. Transactions are public and transparent. Scalability, privacy, and security are always going to be on the forefront, especially for us in the financial services industry. And on the blockchain network, the proof of work has never been hacked. So in the Bitcoin sphere, that has been really safe. Proof of stake, if you've heard of that, although it is a faster network, it's more vulnerable to security issues because of how it looks for consensus mechanisms based on the quality of crypto that those nodes have within the system, if that makes sense. And then governance and regulations. We've all heard many things coming up in fruition in our legal or legislative area, things that are being proposed. So those are all on the horizon as well as to some changes that are forthcoming. So we wanted to build a toolbox, something that you could take with you to ensure you have at least something to go home with, right? The other panelists will talk about a dashboard and a foundation. One of the things, we have a friend who runs an innovation club, right? And so if you can't do it within your organization, help to find out some of your the funds that are leaving the credit union. This, you can go to CU Crypto Report. It's cucrypto.report. And they will give you free access to send your database of information and help churn that and help you identify opportunities in your credit union, where the funds may be going to track crypto investments. Collaboration, I invite you to collaborate with others, thought leaders, educators, partners, and continue the discussion. There's so much information out there, and I think Laura said it best, we're not all experts, but we're all students. Weigh in with the regulators, as I said, learn to earn. On Coinbase, they have little exercises, less than 10 minutes. You can earn tokens just by participating in these exercises. It's a great way to learn on your lunch hour. Take a little bit of time. And then if you really want to do a deep dive, when I took the MIT class, we had to, remember that big 14,000 list? We had to take the top 50 coins, and we had to parse them out into utility, payment, privacy, all these tokens. I read more white papers that were on that list than I could imagine. But I invite you, if you really want to take a deep dive, I can send you that exercise, and you can see how you would fare in that as well.
Thank you, Trish. This
Thanks,
was awesome.
Christina.